All right, so let's start with the big story that we're tracking on WION at this hour, where the United States and Iran have both sounded very pessimistic about the chances of reviving the 2015 Iranian nuclear deal. Washington said that it had little cause for optimism, while Tehran has questioned the sincerity of the American and the European negotiators. Now, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is presently in Stockholm, has said that he could judge in a day or so if Iran would even engage in good faith. He also added that it is not too late for Iran to reverse its course and to engage meaningfully with the Americans, who were the initial ones to have unilaterally flouted the agreement.
I have to tell you, recent moves, recent rhetoric don't give us a lot of cause for optimism. But even though the hour is getting very late, it is not too late for Iran to reverse course and engage meaningfully in an effort to return to mutual compliance with the JCPOA.
Now, the comments from Antony Blinken came on the fourth day of the indirect US-Iran talks in Vienna. Following the resumption of talks, Tehran has tabled a draft proposal which entails the immediate removal of these crippling financial sanctions and nuclear commitments. Now, Iran's chief nuclear negotiator, Ali Bagheri Khani, has said that Iran had delivered two drafts to the Europeans, one on sanctions removal and the other on nuclear limitations. Iran wants all sanctions to be lifted at once. The outlined position is unlikely to be warmly welcomed by the Americans at this point of time, who are not, it appears, very keen on lifting the sanctions. It is unclear whether Blinken had been briefed on Iran's latest proposals when he made his very pessimistic comments. As the world powers and Tehran seek to reinstate the deal that lies virtually in tatters, the United States appeared to play down the possibility of reviving the nuclear deal. The goal of the JCPOA, or what was also known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, was to make it practically impossible for Iran to build a nuclear weapon. And now it appears as if both sides might be seeking to avoid the blame if the talks were to break down. Diplomats from Britain, China, France, Germany and Russia are also attending the talks alongside Iran. And according to sources that are familiar with the matter, Iran and the remaining parties to the deal might hold a formal meeting again today. And it could, of course, mark the end of this week's negotiations. Meanwhile, the Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has in fact called the immediate cessation of the Vienna talks. In a phone call to Antony Blinken, Naftali Bennett has accused his arch foe Iran of nuclear blackmail. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.